up, long players? Welcome back to the Long Play listening party. We are listening to side B of the vehicle record, The Other Side of the Mountain. Clint Hoffmeier is our guest. What's going on, Clint?
Hey, how's it going? Thanks, guys.
Still good. We are
It's a new day. What are you talking about?
So let's see. We are coming up. The first song we're going to hear, starting in just a couple minutes, is "Insult to the World."
Oh, I love this song.
Me too.
Start to the second half of the album.
Yeah, this was definitely. You're just about perfect on this being the. This is what I consider the end of side A, actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
But,
I was just going off time, so yeah.
Oh,
okay.
no, it's totally perfect. But, like, that's where I think an album needs some kind of weird short thing in the middle that's not necessarily the same as what you're doing in the rest of the album. And this is well, I didn't write any of the lyrics because they come from the film Inherent the Wind, which is based off of a book, but this is Spencer Tracy. I came across this speech after watching Inherit the Wind, and that's, if you're not familiar with Inherit the Wind, it's about the first trial in a small town about a teacher who was teaching evolution. And when I heard this again, I had seen it as a child, but when I heard it again, I was like, what he's saying is just as relevant now as it's ever been. It's a different.
And now, at that particular point in time, was when?
What's his name? Oh, yeah, Donald Trump was still president. Yeah, that's all I remember. No, this was probably last September. It's been almost a year, probably, since I recorded this one.
September
2020.
2020.
Yep.
Time has gotten very strange.
It was fun to do because it's like all keyboard. This is just, I came up with a little reoccurring riff and just how many weird effects can I put on top of each other, and then how many weird things can I do to the audio itself. Yeah, this is I saw someone actually post the other day the lyrics, and I wanted to be like, hey, listen to my song, jerk. Why are you quoting these? Oh, I didn't write these lyrics, but it's very, very impactful, the things that are said from Sir Spencer Tracy. He's not Sir Spencer Tracy.
Exactly.
Well, if you can imagine, I was in my studio, all the lights out, and this was up. And as I told you, I mixed the whole record in blue. So I turned all the lights blue, and that's the way I mixed the whole album. And I mean, I listened to this over and over and over again because it just blew me away, and it was exactly how I felt at the point in time, you know?
You can only destroy, you can only punish. And I warn you that a wicked law like cholera destroys everyone it touches, its upholders as well as its defiers. That if you take a law like evolution and you make it a crime to teach it in the public schools, tomorrow you can make it a crime to teach it in the private schools, and tomorrow you may make it a crime to read about it, and soon you may ban books and newspapers. And then you may turn Catholic against Protestant, and Protestant against Protestant, and try to foist your own religion upon the mind of man. If you can do one, you can do the other. Because fanaticism and ignorance is forever busy and needs feeding. And soon, Your Honor, with banners flying and with drums beating, we'll be marching backward, through the glorious ages of that 16th century, when bigots burned the man who dared bring enlightenment and intelligence to the human mind. And this community is an insult to the world. This entire community. And this community is an insult to the world. This entire community. And this community is an insult to the world. And this community is an insult to the world.
Jason and Jesse were probably like, I hope Royce is okay.
Yeah, I was listening to that dialogue but I was digging the keys.
Yeah, cool.
As well.
Really simple,
Yeah,
but
sure.
just atmospheric.
Well,
and
no, I mean, yeah, exactly. They weren't drawing attention to themselves.
yeah, right.
Right.
But they sounded cool if you wanted to listen to them.
Nice.
I like this. What are the drums on this one?
This is another early one that I did that was kind of an experimental flow. I knew I wanted side B, if it ever gets on vinyl, to kick off with like bass. And I wanted to make a kind of funky soul techno song that just has one lyric for the most part. And again, these are you're gonna say everything to no one because there's no one here. There's no one else around. Deal with yourself.
Lyrics mostly just kind of wash over me, especially on the first listen. I've listened to this once earlier today, but I had not realized how many tunes you've mentioned several now where it's basically one or two lines that kind of get combined differently but essentially repeated throughout the song.
Yeah, I either go one extreme or the other with that. It seems like.
Man, if I could come up with some cool little snippets like that so that I could repeat them through a song and do them, that's what I would do. But I have trouble coming up with
really
those. But yeah. But I like the way that you treated these vocals, and the different
two voices
positioning. Yeah.
And I put a little flanger on one of them with some real tinny EQ. Compressed it real tight.
One of them was kind of a sort of a falsetto-ish type of thing.
Wanted to get that disco falsetto feel to it.
Yeah.
Now this is interesting because this is the Br8 Drums. There's 4 different drum parts in this. So when I recorded it, which the first thing I did was the drums, I'm having to use the dial to switch real quick to the other drum part.
That's how you play an instrument, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, that's also performing the song.
And that's why it feels good.
You're recording what you're doing. That's a performance.
Now, what I hope to do with...
That's my opinion.
Yeah. What I hope to do with this one day is put a super group together and perform it at Phosphor. And Royce has to be in the band because he knows it more than anybody else, and he can handle some of the audio stuff and some of these electronic drums and stuff like that, mixed with Tess, of course, playing real drums. I'll be like, Tess, you're playing it way too good for this album. Dumb it down a little bit.
But this was another fun one to work with.
Yeah, not to spoil anything or break any sacred bonds of trust, but I think, Royce, you played this song for me at one point.
Oh, okay.
And I really enjoyed it.
Oh, when I was working on the album, I probably played it to get your ears on it. Okay.
Yeah.
This is definitely an example of a song that I start with a chorus that pops into my head, like maybe driving around, and I wrote the music after the lyrics. I just knew I wanted to write honestly, it started because sometimes text messages irritate me because I know somebody could respond to a Facebook message or a text because they're still posting stuff on Facebook, but they haven't responded to my message. And I hate technology for the most part, but this pissed me off, and I'm like, all I want is communication. And that in theory, that's how this started. I'm not taking your life. I just want to know, will you be at my house at 6 or 6:30? I don't need a book. But it grew into much more than that from, again, just not having communication in life with people. Hey, kitty. Who's got the kitty?
Oh, that's Nate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's me. Where was she?
I heard her meow.
Yeah, I just heard her. I didn't see her.
Oh yeah, she. We picked them both from boarding today because we were out of town.
Oh, nice.
They had me come and get her because she was not happy today. They said.
Aww.
she was in the back of the cage. You can hear her just like kind of angry, and I had to take my mask off, and she was like, "Oh, okay, you're here.
You jerk.
Let's go. Let's get the hell out of here." So she's being a little needy.
Hey, Royce, did you put conga on this, or did I?
I'm pretty sure
Really?
you did.
You didn't add that?
Yeah.
I don't remember doing that. And I remember texting you like, we're real close on that mix, bud. And he probably got, bless his heart, he probably got so sick of me like, yeah, okay, he sent me another mix. I'm like, okay, I need, just do this, I need this a little more, this a little less.
No, not at all, man. I love that, and I encourage it because it teaches me what you're hearing. And once I get it right, now I can I've got a point of reference. You know what I mean?
You were able to do some of the cool stuff that I had envisioned, but I didn't know how to do it really. And with doing a lot of the crossover from left to right channel and stuff like that, that I still to this day catch stuff when I listen to the album. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I didn't do that. Royce did that.
Yeah, the stereo image has been really nice throughout.
Cool. This next song, honestly, I wrote it. This is probably the last one I recorded. And this isn't the only song that was written pre-pandemic. And I honestly thought the album needed a ballad. I thought that's what was missing.
This is Someone
Yep.
Tried.
What's going on with your vocals there? What are you doing?
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Or just like the effects of it?
Yeah. How you recorded it. And
I like a lot of stuff. Let's see, what kind of microphone is this right here? Hold on. AKG. I used this AKG, and I ran it with a 1/4 inch into the Boss, and used the effects off of the Boss into the laptop, and then go back in and add a bunch of stuff on it from the laptop, or from Audacity. Yeah, I did all of this on Audacity, this entire album.
I know.
Yeah, I know you know.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, not crazy, but that's
That it could do it?
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's great that you could do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's probably not. I mean, it's
not ideal.
yeah. Right.
No, and Royce, he knows.
I think I just don't open it enough to really. I mean, I know how to do basic things in it, but I never went beyond that really. Like I know I can get my plugins in there and like do cool stuff like that.
I didn't know how to get my music to Royce. He had to come over and literally borrow my laptop and take it to Phosphor and extract them there.
Yeah.
I imagine, did you have to like solo every track and export it?
No, I found a function that would allow me to. I think I had to drag and drop them out as individual files or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't have to do that. Of course, I got a crash course in Audacity when I was doing that. But I don't remember how. I think that's what I had to do. Was just like drag and drop them out or something.
Gotcha.
Another cool thing to do with acoustic guitars that I found that are on this album is miking. One, I got a Guild, and then I got some cheap thing called Summer Jammy that a friend left here, and I use both. The Guild has pickups in it. But I would set up a microphone right up to the hole, a room sound, and run the direct out. And then I'd put that in one side of the speaker and then mic that summer jammy cheap one and bring that in and just little picking parts that would kind of give it a little bit of a accent, but it still blends together for the acoustic guitars. I think there's 4 guitars, piano, probably 2 pianos, organ.
Yeah, I like that organ line, just that singular line that you're playing.
Yeah. Just, I mean, with organ especially, you sometimes don't need anything more than just a single note.
It's almost given me, so calling back to Led Zeppelin, it's almost given me thank you vibes.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That organ timbre and the harmony. And
that feels right to me, man. Yeah, nice. Well, and I recorded it to some drum parts and then didn't use them because I didn't think it needed it. I did some little percussion stuff that Royce made me keep in that I was like, I want to take that shit out. And he's like, no, I think you want to keep it in. But I didn't think I wanted to have a song that wasn't like a full drum kit tune.
Yeah.
Now, this is the most angry song on the album.
Totally, man. I really dig a lot of these beats on
Cool.
here.
This is one where I borrowed from YouTube a performance, and then I put Casio keyboards on top of them to give them just a really. I wanted to go a little Trent Reznor-y with this one a little bit.
Yeah.
Longer than I can stand. I tried hiding inside peace, and how the world don't understand. With all the memories of.
And this song kind of came from that I felt like I was writing a song that I had written 20 years ago. And that's why the first line is, well, here we go again, as if nothing ever changed. Because I'm still writing the same fucking song as I always have. I never asked you, am I allowed to cuss on this show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Howie's like, yeah, I'll bleep you out later.
Well, you have sponsors. We don't have any sponsors. So.
Yeah, well, I got sponsors and I don't give
Yeah, we
any
do.
away.
Fuck, we want to.
The 3 of us are sponsors.
That's right.
True. Yeah.
I'm gonna give a free shout out to Love Garden Sound.
Oh, hell yeah.
My mug here.
I will drink to that.
Cheers.
I love Garden.
Cheers.
Cheers. God, I haven't been there in so long. It feels like so long. I bet it's been 4 years probably since I've been there.
Man, it may have been longer for me.
I'm using some of the real piano that's out of tune on this, and I let it stay out of tune. And on the chorus is when I'm using it. I wanted to.
This is the piano and
Yeah, I'm using I'm using the Roland XB80 and the upright I have, and I wanted it to sound slightly out of tune. I wanted it to be eerie.
In addition to sort of Nine Inch Nails, I'm getting kind of late 90s, early 2000s Bowie,
Oh,
semi-industrial Bowie vibes.
probably about the same time he was probably hanging out with Trent Reznor, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
No, again, that's why, I mean, there was no hiding it. I was writing a song that I would have written 20 years ago. So here's the finale. And this was the one I really needed Royce's help on. This is the 10-minute long ending that I knew had to happen. And Chris Toddy is the only one that has another instrument on it that I didn't play. And Chris Toddy's, I knew his brilliant guitar playing needed to be on this.
Why, you said it had to happen. Why did it have to happen?
Because an album has to have some kind of epic ending for me. From when I write an album out. I'm a big fan of Pink Floyd's albums. In my mind, Animals is probably the greatest album of all time.
Yeah,
yeah,
so good.
And I've always been channeling Roger Waters for years. And even beyond Pink Floyd, like some of his solo work. And I like a big ending. And this, I was literally driving around when Kansas City was protesting for Black Lives Matter. And I took the pandemic so serious, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't go inside any place. I didn't grocery shop. I had groceries delivered or I picked them up outside. Any time that there had ever been a time for something of movement like the Black Lives Matter movement, I would have loved to have been part of it. But this pandemic kept my survival mechanism in my brain keeping away from people. But I used to drive around and watch the protest happen. And I was just driving around one day oh my God, we are all so scared and sad and don't know what to do, and everybody's trying to do what they can, and what's right? How are we supposed to restart if we can't finish this? I'm also a theater kid, choir, drama, acting. So this song is definitely, there's some The Who, how to construct something like theatrically. That's why it goes through so many changes. Yeah, I wouldn't let Chris into my house to record the guitar. So he set up his shit out on my gravel driveway, and I ran his amp into my garage and mic'd his guitar. And he did 3 guitar parts for every segment, which there's 4 segments to this. And he was like, just take your pick. And I kept them all. One way or another, they're in there.
Big ending, yeah.
Rock and roll. Stay the same, the more things change, but no redemption. The evidence presented here, but I had no self-control.
How would I know?
Yeah, this is about what it's like to be a kid thinking you're going to grow up and be a rock and roller, and then you dedicate your entire life to music your whole life, and oh, well, it doesn't pan out exactly how I thought, but now I'm addicted to this and I can't stop. God, Chris Toddy's such a good guitar player. I knew this song was going to have something where me and my brother, who used to play in my band and played in Vehicle, we always wanted to end an album with different audio from the songs on the album coming in and out, left, right. So what I did coming up and here in a moment is I brought in and I put distortion and different effects on it and brought in songs from previous albums. So it's kind of like a, wow, here I am again. 20 years later, still doing this same thing. Alone, making music.
The guitar is great.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are all previous Vehicle songs over the last 20 years popping in and out of here.
I like that, whatever that sort of clashing chord was, I really like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that clickety. That's how I describe things, like clickety click. It's nice to have a hired gun at your side that works for beer and hot dogs. Like Chris Dottie to play guitar. Yeah, man, I'll come over and stand in your driveway and just feed me beers and whiskey.
Yeah, that was really good. I like that. No, so is this continuing the same?
This is the same song, yeah.
Okay.
This is part 4.
Okay.
The dark side of the mountain.
Exactly. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
I can see I was not always right, but without an end, how can there be a new beginning inside?
Yeah, I couldn't help but think about, like, what's the end in sight? There's no end in sight. How can we find a new hope and direction when I don't know how this is all going to end? And this is definitely the beat.
That's true in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
It's not. Just
No, for sure. You'll start hearing the same wind that the album starts with kind of coming in.
And there it is.
That's it.
Man, how often do
Nice.
you listen to it?
Too much. No, I remember I had an ex-girlfriend from many years ago, and she got in my car one night in my old black Camaro that I used to have, and she goes, "Are you seriously listening to your own music?" And I'm like, "Why do you think I write it? Do you think I write it because this is what I like?"
Yeah, it is true. I mean, if if I didn't want to listen to my own music, that'd be a weird feeling. I know some people don't.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they make great music, and I feel like I should maybe listen to more, music than I do or get to, but I like listening to my own music.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, some more than others, but still, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why else would you be doing it, really?
Man, when I was in my early 20s, I had an 86 Honda Accord with 3 12-inch JLs in the trunk, 6x9s, and tweeters all throughout the inside of the vehicle. And I'd shake the neighborhood, and it was all my shit. You know?
So, when I came to Royce and we started talking about the album, because Royce, he doesn't just, okay, yeah, I'll mix and master your album. Let's get together and let's talk about this. One of the things that I complained to him about was this was the first album I haven't physically made a copy of. I'd still want to put it on vinyl and may even make CDs at some point, but this was the first time it was just going to be download, and I knew that irritated me because a lot of platforms really compress sounding, and or the whole flow of the album and the order that it's supposed to go gets lost. People pick their songs, their tracks. The same amount of time is between the songs, and Royce was like, "Well, just release it as the 12 songs, and then release one long version of it." And I was like, "Oh my God, Royce, that's freaking." I go, "Can we?" I think I said, "Can we do that?" Yeah. So if you go to the websites to buy the album, it's 13 songs. 12 of them are the songs, and the 13th is the entire album as one track, as 1 hour long.
Yeah. The way it's meant to be.
Exactly. That's the one I send to my musician
many-
friends.
That's what I was just going to say. How many of your buddies do that? That's exactly what happens. For
I had a friend of mine, Jonathan Fleeg, and the last album he had me record on was like 35 minutes or so, and it was basically just a continuous jam, and they had played it like a few times and took the different, the versions of the songs that they liked, but they essentially just kind of melded everything into each other. Like they tried to get as much of one take as they could.
Yeah.
And that's how he wants it to be heard. So it's at whatever point it ends up being released, it's going to be the 30 minute.
Oh, okay.
Or 30
Nice.
minute it's
Nice.
going to be. So,
Got you.
yeah.
No, I've come across a couple musicians that I've told, "Hey, I hear you got a new album." Like, yeah, and I hear it's one track, and I tell them exactly what I just told you, and they're like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna do that." I'm like, well, you just wait there till mine comes out first. But
Yeah, it's a good idea, and I hadn't seen it. This is the first time I've seen it.
Did you
It's
just
very
do
cool.
that? In
No.
a way?
No, I haven't done that.
Night mode? Okay.
No, we put stuff out. We did an album a couple 3 weeks ago, maybe, but it's normal. It's 3 tracks. It's seamless.
Yeah.
But we didn't do like a unified 35-minute
Okay.
track.
Okay.
It's just, I put the track markings at the 0 crossings,
Oh, sure.
so it should play back seamlessly, but it's divided up like normal.
Got you. Is that the Duke behind you on the wall?
No, that's Clint Eastwood. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Okay.
Some local artist gave that to me. I don't remember who. That's why it's in this room.
Yeah, it's kind of evocative of your cover art.
Silhouette-wise, yeah.
Well, it felt like the outro. That's what the outro felt
Really?
like.
Felt like that?
You know? Well, it felt like it to me, like a little Wild West.
Oh,
you know what I
okay.
mean?
A little bit of some saloon fighting music. I really think you guys need to come on Wednesday night drinking practice. And, I was kind of nervous about this tonight, to be honest with you. Like, I'm so used to, we've done 265 shows. I've done nothing but talk to different local musicians, and I feel like every local musician and every artist wants this opportunity actually to talk about their music. And it was kind of nerve-wracking for me to like switch the gears around, so I'm assuming you three should get the opportunity to talk about your own music and your own podcast and let the world hear about it.
Well, we certainly. I mean, this show started with me and Nate talking about our own music, and we've not been shy about doing that. We'll continue to do that.
Good.
But we haven't talked about the podcast.
We hadn't really and it was just because we did that record, remotely, and so we had stuff back and forth, but we never really. It was never like we were in the same space together going, okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Let's do that here. And so there's, a lot of questions, I think, on both of our ends as far as so what were you thinking when you did that? Or, and it, quite a few of the guests that we've had on have said how it's kind of nice to hear or to be able to answer questions and kind of talk about stuff and have people listen back, because a lot of times you feel self-conscious if you're just talking to somebody just randomly so this record I did and blah blah blah.
On my own podcast I try not to talk about myself more than just a few seconds,
right?
But I think there's certain kinds of people though that need that chance to actually go, okay, you actually do want to hear what I have to say about this? And I think what you guys are doing is really freaking incredible. And I really hope every one of my favorite Kansas City, Lawrence-based bands, records get to come on your show, the artist, and talk about their music. Because I am fascinated with that. I want to hear, and even though like we were talking, Howie, about I don't want to, inception someone's brain with what this song is. I love knowing how they did it and what happened.
Yeah, for sure.
I've got a book down here that is every day the Beatles put in and what they did at Abbey Road, and it's the logs, and it's like Paul came in at 2:00 in the morning and put a shaker down by himself. It's that kind of thing. I want to know that about every artist. And my point is that what you guys are doing is freaking awesome. And I applaud you for taking the time to
Thank you.
to talk to artists.
Thank you, man. That's thank you for saying that. I just have a good time listening to how people are making their
Well, we
music.
kind of live in a short attention span existence, and it's hard to get everyone to pay. That's the cool thing about podcast, actually, is that you can turn it off at any point. Listeners, I take that back. If you are genuinely interested, you'll listen to it. That's why I listen to podcasts.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think the key for us, or the key for me, is that we're listening to the music as we're talking about it, right? So you don't have to imagine what something sounds like or imagine what the lyrics are. It's right there for you to hear as you're describing it. So it becomes less of a, less the artist is like talking at you about the thing that they made, and more, really more of a shared experience, right? We're both listening to this thing, and here's some information. And also, from time to time, I'll shut up and you could just hear the music and get a sense of what it's about, which is something I don't get. There are lots of wonderful shows that I love that don't do that. I guess, what's the one where they like dissect, they're like 20 minutes long and they go through like the demo and each part that gets added. Song Exploder does a great job of like, it's so cool to hear the part soloed up, or hear the demo and hear how it all gets constructed versus like just hearing someone explain it might not be as interesting,
Dude, have you seen McCartney?
Oh my
3, 2,
God,
1?
it's so good. It's so good.
Oh man, it's amazing, and just having like the tape.
The masking tape
fader's
that
doing.
is actually different settings that they have to change, so what was bass and drums.
And you hear these crazy ass tones, like you're like the bass. That was the bass tone, like that blows my mind.
Yeah, like Rick Rubin asking.
Yeah, if you haven't seen like Howie and Royce, like I think you guys would.
Oh yeah, you guys got to watch that.
If you haven't
Rick
seen
Rubin asking Paul McCartney like, "Who's playing tuba on Maxwell's Silver Hammer?" And Paul McCartney's like, "I'm playing that on bass." And I always thought that was a tuba.
Yeah.
And he's just like, boom, 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 boom.
And where can you
That's
find
on
it?
Hulu. It's a Hulu original.
Hulu.
Okay.
Hulu original.
Well, where can we find the other side of the mountain?
Wow, you're asking me this, Royce. Well, I was just listening to it earlier on Amazon Music. You can get it there, and you can get it on iTunes. You can also go to my website, ancienthouseproductions.com, which is the 7th or 8th album that they have put out. And I think it's also somewhere else, right, Royce?
It's
everywhere you get your music.
That's right.
How did you go about distributing this? Was it Royce? Or was it
Royce told me what he was doing and what he suggested, and I said, "Yep, that sounds good. Where do I put my card?" And I have honestly, Royce has gone over and beyond mastering. He has guided me in distribution as well, and still is. And I thank you so much, Royce.
Absolutely. I love it.
Well, I love working with you, Royce. You are, and if you need an audio guy, gang, this is the guy you want to work with.
Thank you.
We've talked about this, man.
I've
recorded music like where the engineer doesn't even hear the songs. He's just like autopilot and does a good job, but you really care, and that's what really makes all the difference to me. Mm-hmm. Howie, what were you going to say? I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Royce's whole thing, it's solving problems for artists, right? That's like the philosophy.
Yeah. That's right.
And any original music you guys make or create, please send it my way. I will listen to everything and anything to hear what you guys are creating.
Sure. Well, we'll make sure and follow up with links. Clint, where can people find you on social media?
There is
Instagram or Twitter or anything?
There's a Vehicle Facebook page. There's no Twitter. I don't Twitter. There's a Vehicle the Other Side of the Mountain Instagram page. Okay. MySpace. You can go to our MySpace page. Oh, wait. I don't think that one's... Actually, MySpace is still something, I guess. Yeah. I saw...
Still there.
For shits and giggles.
Still there.
Typed it in the other day. I'm like, oh my God, it's like music news. It seemed like, but it's not like what it used to be, which is great.
I think it's a music aggregator. So like your billboards and all those kinds of places will get their new posts and stuff from MySpace. Yeah. So it's a business. It actually makes money now.
Well, that's when everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
Great job, Tom.
Great job, Tom.
There we go. Now I am following Vehicle.
Cool. We will make sure to link to all that stuff below. Again, Vehicle, The Other Side of the Mountain, out now. Thanks so much for joining us.
I love your show, and I can't wait to go back and listen to all of your episodes. I've only listened to a couple of them so far, but I know what I'm going to do tomorrow over coffee.
Yeah, there's a treasure trove.
It's a great way to discover music and learn about artists you already love. And thanks a lot for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. No, thanks. Thank you for the album first of all, and thank you for joining us to talk about it. Yes. Cheers.
Later, everybody. It's been the Long Play Listening Party.